Hi, everybody. Imagine cutting your incident volume, slashing resolution times, and freeing up your agents to focus on what really matters, all with the power of Now Assist. And the goal is simple: accelerate service response, improve your operational agility, increase your agent's productivity, but ultimately reduce the time and effort it takes to resolve issues. In today's demo scenario, your agency has recently rolled out Microsoft Teams enterprise-wide, and users are still trying to adjust to the new features. We're going to look at two personas. The first one is going to be Jen. She's an employee trying to schedule a Teams meeting through Outlook, but running into trouble. The second person is going to be Maurice. He is a service desk analyst who steps in to help. This is Employee Center. With the issue that Jen's having, she's deciding she's going to use Virtual Agent to ask a few questions about what's going wrong. So she's going to type a simple request in describing that she's having an issue adding a Teams meeting to Outlook. Now this is going to go to work, look for knowledge articles, look for previous records, any information that's out there that can give her some guidance here. Unfortunately, it comes back without much of a response because there isn't a knowledge article created yet. This is a new issue. So she decides she's going to chat with a live agent. So she'll type that in. Now this is going to look for a live agent in the queue and automatically route her to Maurice. Let's go over to Maurice's screen. He's using Service Operations Workspace. Now he goes into his queue and accepts the chat from Jen. The first thing you'll notice, Now Assist has summarized the chat between Jen and Maurice. It shows that Jen is in fact experiencing an issue with adding those Teams meetings to Outlook, and then she's chosen to talk to a live agent directly. Now, Maurice has a few options here. He can click into the reply field, and he can choose to write a reply directly with Now Assist. Now Assist is going to take into the context any external knowledge, any prior history where there could have been an issue like this, and type up a response back to Jen. Unfortunately, there isn't really any information yet because, again, this is a new issue. But this shows that he's able to do that. Now, Maurice can go ahead and type his own message back in there, and he can also choose to elaborate on that or shorten his own message back. Let's see what it looks like if he elaborates. Now Assist takes the line that he's put in there and asks a few more details about the problem, maybe giving her a few prompts to provide some additional information. He likes this response better and goes ahead and inserts it. Now let's go back over to Jen. And she decides just to say that anytime she creates a meeting using Outlook, it's not generating a Teams message. Now, Maurice knows that there have been a few calls coming in about this, and he's going to open an incident. And once he finds the fix from some of his coworkers, he's going to update her via the incident. So back over to Maurice, he's going to give her this news. Now, he also has a few options that he can take advantage of during this time by typing in a /. He can create the incident directly, which he's going to go ahead and do. This will give Jen the information and the incident number directly in the chat window. He can also search the KB with some keywords such as Teams to see if there's any relevant articles out there for her and attach that right in the chat. This time he doesn't find anything. And of course, he can also re-summarize the chat and everything that's been happening thus far. Here you can see it starts from the beginning where Jen Barber is experiencing the issue. Maurice then investigates the issue, asks for more details, and then creates the incident to look into the issue. Now he's going to go ahead and end the chat. And then he's going to open up the incident that was created. Now Assist is then going to go ahead and summarize this. At any point, Maurice's coworkers can come in here and summarize this case to see what's going on with it just by clicking the summarize button. Here you see the issue has been summarized. Any key actions have been documented. Here Maurice has investigated the issue. He's created that incident, and he's promised to update Jen once a solution was found. You'll also notice that a sentiment has been established up at the top. Right now, the sentiment is neutral because there's really no recent comment from the requester. We're going to see how this changes over time. If there's a little red dot above the I, that means that there's a new sentiment. In this case, this one's just gotten started, but you can hit the refresh button to get that new sentiment. we're going to see that the sentiment is described as being neutral because there's no indication of either a positive or a negative tone. The next thing that Maurice is going to do is add those steps that he found from his coworker and how to get this add-in working for a workaround for Jen. His coworker sends him the steps, and he's going to go ahead and add that into the additional comments. Once he does that, those comments will be added to the activity log, and he's going to go ahead and resolve this case. As soon as he clicks on resolve, Now Assist is going to generate those resolution notes automatically based on everything that's been done so far. He'll select that a solution's been provided and then look over the steps to make sure that it looks right. In this case, he wants to add a little bit more context to the resolution steps. So he can select that text and he can choose to elaborate on this a bit more. Now Assist is going to elaborate on it to add all of the steps that have been done or that have been passed along to Jen, and he can insert that. That looks better, and he can choose to go ahead and resolve the case. Let's check the customer sentiment. It's now positive and stable because the issue has been marked as resolved, but Jen still has to reply. So let's see what that looks like. Jen finally gets an email that she has additional information added to her case. She's not very happy, however, because there's a lot of people in the office that are complaining about this issue. They're frustrated and they don't have time to call the help desk just like she did and get all of these steps. So she's going to write a note back to Maurice explaining her frustration and ask that he send out some instructions or at least create a knowledge article to help. Maurice is going to receive this note, but first, he's noticing that there's a change on the customer sentiment. Notice that now the sentiment is negative and the trend is declining. That's because Jen's comment expresses that frustration and urgency, and she mentions that there's many people in the office complaining about the issue. He's going to go down and look at what the notes are to see why this is. He sees that she's requested a knowledge article be created and this be communicated to the masses. He can easily go up and create this knowledge article right from the incident. Now Assist is going to ask whether he wants to write it himself or draft it with Now Assist. And of course, he wants to draft it using Now Assist. Now Assist goes ahead and creates an article talking about the problem, the potential root cause, and the steps to resolve. This looks good. However, Maurice wants to add just a few more options to the steps to resolve. So here he can elaborate this and see what Now Assist suggests to give the user some additional details. Let's see what this looks like. Much better. It's formatted a bit more and really explains how the user can resolve this issue. He's going to add it to a knowledge base. He'll save this, and now he can view the article to make sure it looks right one last time before publishing. That looks good, so he's going to choose to go ahead and publish this. Now that this has been published, Maurice can come back and use Agent Assist to attach that article. Maurice is going to type a note to Jen explaining that he's sorry about the frustration, that this will be distributed to everyone, and attach the article. Let's take a look at the updated sentiment. Still negative, even though Maurice has responded to the issue, because there hasn't been additional feedback from the user. Let's go back over to Jen and see what she has to say. She sees the article and the note, and she says, "Great, thank you for doing this." And she closes the case out. Now we'll check the sentiment and see what's happened. It's now become positive because the recent comment expresses gratitude, indicating satisfaction with the agent's resolution. The case has been closed and everybody's happy.